I'm here with Khalees.com, and I'm going to show you how to make a really loopy, kind of that wispy looking fun bow. It is going to be used in one of our wreath projects we're making. I've got 3 ribbons here we're going to use today, and they are all more narrow. They're 1.5 inches wide, and I'm going to take and mix these to make just a really fun combo. The design we're going for is very natural and rustic, cottagey feel, and that's why we have these ribbons picked out. Now we've got one here with a nice, it's got a rough texture, and this one is flat, but it's got on that burlap background with this little bit of zigzag rickrack. It gives it that kind of that country feel, really classic. And then one of my favorite ribbons to use is a window pane, and this is a really pretty fuzzy window pane that we can use at Christmas time because it's got this neat texture. And I'm going to layer that in just sheerly for the texture and the depth and the drama because it's a really dark red. Let's start off with our stripe in the background. Load up your Easy Bow Maker, and if you don't have an Easy Bow Maker, we've got a link for you to grab one. We're going to do these tails at 8 inches. So I'm going to come in at 8 inches, and I'm just going to leave that tail cut at an angle. That's fine right there. And have that kind of tail go up. Now, we're going to have all these loops very loopy. So keep a nice curve to it out at 6 inches, and then I'm going to twist. Everybody stay in 6 right now. 6 inches, twist, right hand goes forward, left hand goes back, and we're going to keep doing that. Let's do 3. We're going to do 3 of the stripe, because this gives us this really, really neat texture to our bow. So I've got 2 on that side. Now I'm starting my 3rd go round, and everybody's about 6 inches, and I'll measure it up, and now I'm going to have this tail kind of come down at 8 and just cut that at an angle. Now I'm going to take and fluff all these out. Look at that, and tails up and tails down. I love, love, love what we got going. So a great base to start this bow. Pop that off, and now we're going to come in with our window pane. And this window pane is lightly wired, so it doesn't have like a really thick wire. It gives you that floppy look, which is super fun to put in here. So I'm going to put this tail in right at the top. And you can see how this is picking up this really, really cute deep red. And we're going to put these in at 6 inches. So anytime you want to use a floppy ribbon, you still can. You just pop it in on your layers. So I put it on top of a more dense layer. So I'm going to bring this in, and it can lay right on top of it. And now I'm going to put this right here and cut that tail to go there. Okay, so I've got the stripe, and then I've got the red. Now, bring in your rickrack. We're going to put that one in next, and this gives it that country feel. And now I'm going to lay this tail the opposite way. So we're going to measure out 8 inches, and I'm going to cut this opposite, so this away. Almost cut that wrong. Just when I try to get those rights and left straight, you know, to get you. It took me most of my life to figure that out. Now I cut the angles wrong. Now we're going to come in with, I think we should go with 3 loops again. This is just a fun, whimsical bow. So let's do it. Let's stack up these layers. So I've got 1 on each side. I'm holding it in the center as I get higher here on my design. And I kind of came in a little bit. I'm at about 5.5 now as far as the loop length. Okay? Making bows like this, and you want to learn how to add these things and create more designs like this, we would love to have you in design school, where I teach bow making, wreath making, swag making, all things floral design, arrangements, all of that every week. Come and join us in design school. If you are a design school member and you are watching this, you know, let people know what you think about class and what are some of your favorite things you enjoy when we're all together learning. Now bring your next layer back. Guess what? One of my biggest tips is you bring the ribbon from the back to the front, and we let this be really super loopy and fun. So I'm going to put this tail on this side, and now I'm going to make it a little shorter, so it'll be about 6 inches on this tail, because I want it just to kind of pop towards the center. And now we're going to put our last little pop in about 5 inches and twist. And this is like the ultimate funky bow, where we layered up a bunch of layers. You see how we got these pegs so far apart because we've got so many loops. Those of you who are OGs, you are Bloom Room OGs. You know this is 3, 2, 2, 1. That's the layers of the bow. 3 loops, then 2, then 3, and then 1. So 3, 2, 3, 1. All right, now I'm going to trim this off. My cute little tail's going. Oh my gosh, there was a little seam in the ribbon, and how perfect. It worked out perfect. I love when that happens. Sometimes that does not happen, but today it did. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take my cable tie. I like to use cable ties to hold the centers of these bows really tight. And so run that right beside the ribbons and gently pull this up. All right, get some nice pressure in there. Okay, now we're not done. You have to pull your bow maker aside, and you got to get to fluffing. So flip this around, hold it tight in the center without doing anything else yet. Just hold it with your finger, and we're going to shape this bow on out into beauty. Beauty goodness. Look how pretty. And I'm going to shape her out. And so I start layering up the layers where I want to do. You see all the dimension? That is critical in bow making, wreath design, all of that. I'm always just drilling that. It literally, that is where your money stands when you have dimension. And that's what makes your work look so much prettier. Isn't that a gorgeous bow? Y'all, it is. It wins. Winner, winner. Okay, flip it over. Add your wire in the back. We're going to put a cable tie, because we are going to use a cable tie on our wreath, and get that tight. So pull that really tight. Now trim that little pokey part off. I'm going to trim that off and flip it over. That's my happy to see you cable tie. Boom, he's coming off. I like to come through the middle with a little bit of, depending if you want the middle to show. If you don't want it to show, you could just leave that green cable tie we use. That'd be fine. But I always like to bring a little bit of kind of what I would call the contrasting ribbon. The ribbon in here that sets the patterns apart is this red. So it's very inexpensive. And when you do fold it, it gives it this super cool texture. It's got all this little, like some kind of cool bumpy yarn, feel. I love that. That looks really cool in the middle. So we're going to put a couple knots in here. And once again, adding texture to your bows with the depth and dimension, it's all going to be a winner. And you are going to have a killer bow just like this. It looks amazing. I can't wait for you to see us next time we make something like this together. Go make your bow and come share it with us on our social media. Give us a hashtag Blue Merinos. We'll be searching for you and looking for what you're making. Bye, everybody.